So, what are we here to talk about today? Winter. It can be an expensive time of year for many of us when we're caring. And as the weather gets chilly, our heating costs can go up. And there may be pressure to spend money on presents, decorations. There's those Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales and things like that, and the New Year sales. It always feels like there's a sale on this time of year. And there are a number of initiatives that may help us to maximise our household income, keeping a careful eye or on our spending or saving some money in some way may just help us through. So we can make it a bit of a project and a challenge rather than a problem, is the idea here. But it can all feel a bit kind of complicated, confusing, time consuming to get a handle on these things as well. So hopefully we're here to help with that. And by the end of the event, our hope is that we'll all know about benefits and winter saving schemes we might not have been aware of before, that we'll take control of the money that we do have and have some practical money saving tips for winter. But the good news is you're not just hearing from me, because that would be really super dull. Let me bring in Vanessa, who's our guest for today. Welcome, Vanessa. Do you want to tell us a bit about you, your caring situation?
I'm Vanessa. I live in the wonderful, very sunny at the moment, Blackpool on the west coast. We did have snow yesterday, all of 1/8 of an inch, which is quite a lot for Blackpool. For the sea air, we don't tend to get it so much. I care for my husband who's got multiple sclerosis after a life-changing event. And we also have a almost 21-year-old daughter who has learning difficulties.
So welcome, Vanessa. Really lovely to have you with us. I'm going to start off talking about kind of maximizing our household income. So what financial support is available for carers in winter? So one of the first places to have a look to find it all together, of course, it's the Mobilise website. We've been doing our research. We've been finding out from you guys as well. So there's a page there called Financial Support in Winter for Carers, and it'll be part of the follow-up that we do. And there's a few different schemes, and it can get a bit confusing. There's the Warm Home Discount Scheme, there's cold weather payments, winter fuel payments, the Household Support Fund, and then some other suggestions for carers. And there are lots of other helpful pages, and it links to kind of money saving ideas, budgeting tips, things about kind of managing your food and things like that and saving money there. So there's lots of stuff to explore on the Mobilise website with these kind of blogs and guides. We hope try not to make them too overwhelming and too dull and give you the information. But the first couple here, so the Warm Home Discount Scheme is a one-off payment, and that kind of gets paid automatically to you if you are eligible via your energy supplier. The action to do might be, if you normally get it or you think you're eligible, is just to put a note in your diary that so if you've not heard anything by January, that you may want to chase it up. It should happen automatically, but if it doesn't, you might want to just start chasing them up in January. Cold weather payments is very specific for the specific when the temperature drops below zero over a specific 7-day period of time. There's little bonus payments. Again, that's processed through your dependent on the benefits that you're on. And then this last one is the one that's in the news more, which is the winter fuel payments. So these have changed now. Now they used to go to everyone of retirement age, and in the latest kind of shift of government and budget, etc., they'll now only be paid to people on specific benefits. So if you're not receiving the full state pension, then it is worth looking to see whether you'll be eligible for pension credit. Okay, but if you're receiving the full state pension, I'm really sorry. That's it. So the Household Support Fund is funding that's been made available by the government's Department of Work and Pensions, the DWP, to support vulnerable residents who are struggling with rising living costs. And it's available through your local council. And every local council will have had a think about how they want to apply that, depending on how many people are on different benefits and things. And they will have their criteria. So that's your little quick whiz of kind of extra stuff that might be available through the winter. What about making the most of what we have and avoiding spending what we don't have? Okay, so this is where, if we've got limited funds or we just need to be careful if we're trying to save for something, trying to put money aside for Christmas or something like that, or for presents for people, how do we kind of manage what we do have so we don't overspend? How can we make the most of it so that we're not freezing cold or starving hungry with what we've got? What can we do with what we've got? Now, Vanessa, I know you're quite a planner and a bit of a budgeter. Tell me a little bit about how you manage your household finances. What works for you?
Like most people caring for somebody, we're on benefits as well. And every 6 months, I do an income and expenditure.
Mhm.
Every 6 months, regardless whether it's needed or not. So I know what we've got coming in because things do change.
Mm.
Some benefits might go up, some benefits might go down. I also keep a log of what we spend in the supermarket. I add it all together and then divide it by how many weeks we've spent.
Hmm.
So I know I have a rough idea of how much is spent in each supermarket or each shop over the 6 months. Now, one thing that I do, is I plan for Christmas and I plan for birthdays well in advance. So my
Hmm.
Christmas for 2025 is already being paid for.
Well,
My Christmas for 2025 started being paid for in September. And that is a weekly payment of £10 a month that I
mm.
pay to a company. And then in September, they send me what I've ordered, whether it's vouchers or the high street vouchers that can be used in a lot of places. And out of those, I have so much that's set aside for spending in the supermarkets, like Iceland and Sainsbury's can be used with these high street vouchers and the purple cards that I get from the
Mm.
company. And so much of that money is put aside for a Christmas shop,
Hmm.
I would say. Um, so I've already started paying for Christmas next year. Also for birthdays, obviously I've got a special birthday in a few weeks here in my house. So I've been saving for that birthday since February.
Hmm.
So whenever our benefits go in, I put a little bit to one side for that birthday. So when it comes to the birthday, I'm not going to be struggling to find a decent present for the money that we've got. Also, I tend to do a similar sort of thing for big expensive items. Recently, we needed a new fridge freezer because our fridge freezer broke. What do? How can you just
Mm.
magic that money out of the? We have a little fund. I put so much money into that each fortnight when David gets his benefits, so that we can have those
Yeah.
things on hand if needed.
That's really good because things like once you start doing things like that, they don't take up extra time. You get used to them, you don't notice them. But sometimes it is the just getting started. Like with these reward cards, I think, oh, I don't want another card, someone I need to give my email address to. But sometimes those things can be really worthwhile and they build up. I do it with Boots Advantage card points as well, actually. If I've had to buy stuff in Boots, we quite often need various extra things when you're carrying from somewhere like that. So I save up my Advantage card points for Christmas, and then when they do the 3 for 2, that's kind of where I do my Christmas shopping with my Advantage card points, which is but every little helps, as one of the big supermarkets say. Bring it all together, but also just hearing there's that planning ahead, there's the stopping to understand what's changed, what's gone up, what's gone down, that you're really aware of your spending. And that can be a bit scary for people to kind of take that plunge to go, I'm just going to hope for the best and hope it's all okay. Whereas actually spending the time checking it, it might be a bit scary at first, but that's where you start to understand, like, oh, that's why there's no money left at the time because this supermarket's got more expensive, or this bill has gone up, or that benefit has gone down now, and we need to find somewhere to adjust that. That's, yeah, very, very good. What would you say if people are struggling to get started on that?
Do it in sections. Don't go all in.
Mm,
Plan one thing at a time and then move on to the next bit. Do it in stages. Don't go the big whole hog because it can be quite overwhelming to do.
lovely. Yeah, absolutely. So Vanessa's been building up these tricks and tips and the things she's been doing. She didn't just one day wake up and decide to become a financial genius and start doing it all. Well, I don't know, maybe you did.
With your shopping,
Mm,
um, I find that buying a larger pack of meat and then splitting it down to what size your portions you're going to be using works
hmm.
out cheaper. A
Yeah.
small pack of meat, say mince for instance, 250 gram pack of mince is what £3.54 at Aldi. Yeah,
Hmm.
that only gets one meal for the three of us. Whereas if I go for a kilo pack of mints, that will get me 4 meals and it's only £7.
Brilliant. And all those different things, isn't it? And sometimes it's having the freezer or having enough money to start with to be able to spend a bit more to buy the big pack. And I know sometimes we get caught in that little trap, but making those small changes can make these things possible. Brilliant. Vanessa, tell me, you showed your heating control earlier. Tell me what you do with your heating controllers.
Well, if I'm cold, it must be cold because I'm a big lad. I tend to keep my own body warm. So if I'm cold, it must be cold. So I control the heating in the house. Um, if my husband or daughter are cold, it's put an extra jumper on or a blanket on. But
Excellent. Love it.
I
So
control the heater.
sometimes you just have to be the person that's in charge of these things, don't you? And lead the way for everybody. This time of year, what else is difficult about the spending? I notice sending Christmas cards, those stamps are going up in price. And if you're doing those on behalf of you and the person you care for, you might be sending out double. Vanessa, what do you reckon
I,
about that?
I did actually get a good tip earlier this year regarding stamps.
Oh, yes.
Um, we only pay our council tax, is it 10 or 11 months out of the
Hmm.
year?
Yeah.
So that month that you would have been using on your council tax, I use that to buy stamps.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And someone says they're cheaper online than if you go to the post office, but I think that's paying for individual things. I don't know, but worth checking out because stamps have gone up in price.
And also with post office is more expensive for parcels than such as Parcel Force, who will deliver, who pick up from your door.
Yeah,
So
shop
it's
around for
always,
your
if you've got,
parcels.
if you're sending a parcel, it's always better to check those things out
Yeah,
online as
there's some
well.
money to be saved there if you're sending things. And sometimes you can get things delivered direct, can't you? That's what our family do. My my mum sends me the stuff for the people that live here and I wrap it up and give it to them and vice versa. So we kind of use whatever the delivery was already going to be if we're online shopping too. So what about also some tips for that saving money where there are bargains to be had, where you might get some cash back, there might be some vouchers and things like that. Vanessa, are you using an app to get cheap food somewhere? Did I hear? Are you using the Good to Go app?
Yes, good, too good to go. Yeah.
Too good to go.
Um,
That's it.
we- what that is what happens at the end of the day, what they can't sell off at the
Mm,
end of the day. Um, they might be closed over the weekend, or it's sellable. It has to be that date, but they're coming up to the
mm,
close of business. So there's the Too Good to Go app. Um, I use it quite a lot, to be fair.
mm.
Um, last Friday, for instance, the Pound Bakery, we got a Too Good to Go bag from there. It was £3.25, and I had to pick it up between 4 and 4 past. It's specific with your times because
Yeah.
it's when the shop is closing. And in that, it did us our tea and our Saturday lunch for £3.25.
25.
There was 4 baguette sandwiches, four, 2 steak bakes, 2 sausage rolls, and 8 mince pies.
Oh, the mince pies as well. So there was a treat as well. It wasn't just a
Oh
meal,
yeah,
there was a
yeah.
treat.
You
Yeah.
don't know what you're going to be getting.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You do not know what you're getting. I've
Yeah.
done them for Aldi as well. Um, there has been some bags that aren't very good,
I'm sure.
like 4 loaves of bread, but they can go in the freezer.
Yeah.
3 bags of potatoes, 2 bags of carrots. Yeah, I'm making a soup.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely. Yeah. And soup is another good tip this time of year, isn't it? Making your own soups.
yeah, I make my own
Vegetables
soups.
are, yeah, if you've got vegetables that are on the turn and or you bought vegetables with a yellow sticker on them, then whizzing them into a soup can be really helpful too, nice and warming as well. And yeah, and also I think there's a lot of things about new kitchen equipment that it costs us money to buy it, but it might save us money in the long run in terms of using less electricity. So your air fryers, slow cookers, and things like that can be super helpful. There's little tiny mini heaters. I don't know how great they are. And the other one is is rather than like if you were thinking about buying a tumble dryer or your tumble dryer needed replacing, a dehumidifier can be a better option for drying your washing and things as well. Runs it cheaper and stops your home getting moldy too. So those little tips work as well. Now, Vanessa, before we wrap up, do you have like a final golden nugget to share with our lovely gang here?
Budget nugget, shop around,
Shop
basically.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, always look online
Mm.
for where something's cheaper, even if it's the brand of coffee you have. It might be
Yeah.
cheaper in Tesco's than it is in Asda.
Yeah. And that doesn't necessarily mean going to 5 different shops in one week. It's just being savvy, isn't it? When you're in each shop and alternate it and know what's cheap in which shop. But yeah, things have got expensive in different places and we kind of suddenly think, oh, hang on, what's going on here? So yeah, look for those things that you can buy in different supermarkets. Shop around. That's an excellent one. And I think for me, it's probably around just what's your mindset. Just notice that what am I being kind of almost dragged into here that I don't need or don't want? How am I being influenced by
Make a
all the things
list.
around me? Or make a list and stick to the list. I love
Check it
that one.
twice.
Check it twice. But thank you for joining me. Vanessa, just thank you for being such a great guest. She said, oh, I haven't got much to share. Loads of brilliant stuff. But thank you, everybody. Take care and enjoy the winter. Bye.
Bye, everyone.